Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is your instructor Joy. Today we're going to talk about practicing scales, whether we should practice scales with vibrato or without. I get a lot of students who has been playing violin for a while and they come to me, and sometimes some of violinists think it's an absolute cardinal sin when vibrating while practicing scales in arpeggios. So I thought I'll make a video so that you can go through certain questions and so that you understand what we're talking about, and then you can come to your own conclusion that makes sense to you. So okay, so scales are, as we know, just simple. We use as a warm-up. On and on. It could be 1 octave, 2 octave, 3, 4, depending what level you are in. We all practice scales here and there. Okay, so now let's talk about what does vibratos do. So vibrato basically, we're bringing, so let's say that this is the note, the pitch of the note. We bring the note slightly lower by vibrating and bring it back to the pitch. Our ears tend to catch the highest pitch, so even though we're bringing a little lower, we get to still hear that one. So the note with that vibrato would be, the note with vibrato would be, yeah. So now, why is that? Some teachers say practice scales without vibrato always, and some teachers say practice with a little relaxed vibrato. Why is that, and why some suggest that way? So the first one, teachers who suggest practicing scales with absolutely no vibrato, is simply they want to make sure that it's easier for our ears to distinguish whether it's in tune or not by simply keeping the one note that way. Which, when you think about it, makes sense. However, I can also play scale without vibrato, like this. Of course, we don't move our arm like that, but I just exaggerate a bit to show you. I can play scale, of course in slow tempo, by keeping my arm in a completely wrong position, just to demonstrate what we could do. By exaggerating, of course, you don't do that. So that's when vibrato comes very handy. In order to have a healthy vibrato, left hand must be positioned in a very healthy way. So in my studio, I suggest my students to practice with a light vibrato, very small oscillations, just to make sure your left hand is positioned, left hand and left arm is positioned in the most healthy way and most reliable way. So like, yeah, like that. And also, if you think about it, people who are against vibrating while playing scale, what they're really worried about is this wide, romantic, super emotional vibrato, which we sometimes use like this wide and strong. That would not be the right type of vibrato when practicing scale. So if I vibrate overly a lot, like whether as if I'm playing Brahms or any romantic piece, this would sound like this. And that's a bit too much, and it gets a little harder for us to get the right note, because it's a little harder to hear, and also we get overly emotional. So in that sense, there's certain thing that we have to keep in mind. So the ideal way to practice scale so that we train our left hand in a good position and so that we can hear whether we're in tune or not would be practice rather in a soft piano kind of softer sound, and then practice with a light, very relaxed vibrato with a small oscillation, so that we make sure the left hand is healthy and nicely positioned. when you shift, the vibrato comes even more handy, because remember, whenever we shift, we tend to become a little tense because your left hand moves up and down. And here, make sure you vibrate with a landing note to secure your left hand is nice and relaxed. Like, now here, again, vice versa happens. Again, to secure your left hand is healthy and moving in most healthy way and most efficient way without moving any unnecessary or necessary a lot. Yeah, so practice yourself and then find a way that works for you. For sure, when you play like this, your left hand will develop very healthy way of moving. So when you speed up in a faster scale, your left hand will already know how to move most efficiently. Yeah. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope this gave you some thinking, and then I hope you take a chance to experiment a little. Yeah. All teachers mean well, but there's many ways of getting from point A to point B. Maybe teacher has one way of doing it. That does not mean that's the only way, right? So try your own way, experiment a little. You can only win. Even if you're wrong and you end up taking the advice of your, your own teacher, you still understood the concept, you tested yourself, therefore you will be able to apply while understanding, meaning you won't forget. Versus if a student tried to imitate, the student might be great for short term, but as soon as the teacher is out of sight, the student is somewhat lost, and that's not what you want. You want to be able to become your own teacher at some point. That's the whole point of these instructions, right? So just questioning yourself, reasoning yourself, and then testing and experimenting and finding your own way, whether you find a solution yourself or not, it's crucially important for your own development. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again. Bye bye.